Hello everyone and welcome to The Wrap, brought to you by Michigan Medicine Headlines. Your normal hosts from the Department of Communication are back this week, including myself, Dan Ellman.
And me, Hunter Mitchell. So don't worry, Michigan Medicine. After we were briefly replaced last week, you can all breathe a sigh of relief and realize that Joe is not going to be hosting The Wrap full time.
Now, we've got an award-winning episode for you as we discuss 8C at University Hospital, the first unit in the state of Michigan to earn a prestigious PRISM Award. But before we get into that, take a moment to get caught up on all episodes of The Wrap you may have missed, including the fun intern spotlight show from last week. Shows can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or any other podcast hosting platform. We also publish each episode on the Michigan Medicine YouTube channel and include it within the Headlines Week in Review.
Okay, enough about that. Let's bring in clinical nurse specialist Latoya Freeman, who works on 8C, which was recently honored for excellence in creating a healthy environment, both for patients and team members. Latoya, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, now first, can you explain what a PRISM Award is and who it recognizes?
Absolutely. So PRISM stands for the Premier Recognition in the Specialty of Med-Surg Nurses. The Academy of Medical Surg Nurses and the Medical Surgical Nursing Certification Board created the award to recognize those units that are showing exemplary nursing practice on medical surgical units. And it's a national recognized honor for exceptional performance, leadership, and outcomes.
So I heard there was a 50-page application that you had to put together on behalf of 8C. Can you describe that process and what all did the application entail?
Yes, 50 pages. It was electronically submitted, but the application really highlighted the work that the unit does. So leadership, recruitment and retention, the competency of the nursing staff on the unit, evidence-based practice, positive patient outcomes, creating a healthy practice environment, and lifelong learning for unit staff members. So just highlighting one of the work that was involved in the application was the efforts around patient safety and utilizing K cards. The unit has used K cards to really help with compliance as it relates to hospital-acquired conditions such as pressure injuries and falls. And we've actually been able to see reduction since implementing K cards on the unit.
So how long did it take you to put together that application, would you say?
Oh, wow. It was a continual process. I actually had a student that worked with me. We started about 2 years ago, and just over the span of 2 years have been able to chip away at it and submit it. And the pass rate or the success rate of the application is 54%. So we're actually really thrilled that we were able to get our application through.
As you should be. Congratulations to you and the entire unit. Now, I know you touched on this a little bit, but what are some of the unique ways 8C has been looking out for the wellness of both patients and employees?
So we have a nurse that's really passionate about self-care and the well-being of not only her colleagues, but also the patients. And so she did a lot of time with reviewing literature and implemented a plan. In that plan, she created a holistic room. In that room, we have inspirational quotes, aromatherapy, there's a massage chair, coloring medallions and sound bars, all that are evidence-based practice. So the staff are able to use that in the event they are having a stressful day. They also implemented Code Lavender, which is just a moment to pause if you're having a stressful moment during your shift. Someone will come to you and alert Code Lavender, just like we do with the Code Blue, because we take it that serious. And you're provided with a lavender bag that has character cards, chocolate, aromatherapy, and we take your phone and pager, take over your patient care as you take off the unit and spend time to regress, reflect, whatever it is that you need to do to come back and be whole for your patient.
Wow. So I have a follow-up question to Dan's. Why is wellness so important on the unit?
You know what? I think wellness really centers around providing holistic care for the patients that we serve. We want to be present, engaged, and provide the best care possible. because in doing that, you really end up getting the best positive patient outcomes while your patients are here in the hospital.
Yeah, I think that's so true that, you can only provide the best care if you're in the best state of mind that you can be in. And I think
Absolutely.
I think that's a lesson that we've been trying to, spread through headlines and other, mediums in the Department of Communication too, is that if you're carrying out education, research, or patient care, you really need to look out for your own wellness. So I appreciate that your unit is doing that and possibly providing some best practices that other areas across the organization can use.
Absolutely. We've seen great success with Code Lavender and the implementing the holistic room, and we are happy to share all of the findings that we found.
Yeah, that's great. Now, is there anyone you want to sort of give a special shout out to in recognition of the work behind the PRISM Award and some of the efforts taking place on your unit?
Absolutely. Hospital leadership has been extremely supportive during this whole process. And really the staff on 8C, the staff on 8C go above and beyond in providing patient care. It was easy to write this application because it really just highlighted in a reflection of the work that they do on a day-to-day basis. So I'm honored that I was able to do it just to celebrate the work that they do on a day-to-day basis.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Latoya, and your fellow team members for the incredible work you perform every day. Now, if you want to learn more about the PRISM Award and 8C, be sure to check out this week's story at mmheadlines.org. That's mmheadlines.org.
All right, Latoya, your work here isn't quite finished. I know you were trying to get away, but you won't be able to. It's time for the lightning round. We're going to ask you 4 questions in 1 minute. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready. I was born ready.
Perfect. All right, here, I got your first one right here. So, what is your favorite way to relax and take a break during the day?
You know what? Actually, I think it's just self-reflection. I spend a lot of time reflecting on what I've done and where I'm going in the next moment and providing myself those small pauses in meditation that really guides me as I'm going from one meeting to the next or one moment to the next sometimes.
Yeah. Now, I was in the hot seat last week and I got this question and loved it so much that I'm turning it over to you now. If you could meet one person from history, who would it be and why?
Michelle Obama. I think she is a phenomenal leader. She's driven. She has poise. She carries herself well. She speaks very articulately. And I hope that people see me in the same light.
Awesome. All right. If you were just given 30 days off work and cost isn't a worry, where are you going and what are you doing?
I'm taking my kids on vacation. I love spending time with my family. And oftentimes I throw myself in work that component becomes the gap. So I really would take that time to just spend time with my husband, love on my kids, and have fun.
Yeah. All right. So some summer blockbuster movies have been coming out over the past few weeks. What is your all-time favorite movie?
Oh, I cannot wait to see Space Jam. It comes out on Friday, and we already are looking forward to it. I would encourage you all to go. The sequel is going to be phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, you did it. Thanks again, Latoya, for participating in the lightning round and for giving us insight into the work being done on 8C.
Thank you.
If you want to learn more about the unit and its recent award, go to mmheadlines.org.
While you're there, you can check out other featured stories from this week. For instance, there was a closer look at the partnerships and affiliations the organization has with other hospitals and health centers across the state, and employees showcased their artistic creations as part of the second annual Headlines Virtual Art Fair. Find all that and more at mmheadlines.org. All right, Hunter, now the art fair, of course, got me thinking, if you had to submit art for an art fair or art show, I assume it would be photography, right? I know I've seen you going around and taking photos, or do you have other artistic outlets?
Well, you know what's funny is I was just at the Plymouth Art Fair or Art in the Park, and just looking at all the creative photos and stuff. It's like I don't even know if my photos would make it anywhere at an art show. But I think there was a time when I was super into woodworking, and my ultimate goal was to like woodwork a guitar somehow. But I just don't have the patience for it. I always got started on another thing, so I had like so many started projects that it never really amounted to anything. But I would say probably photography, like you said. What about you?
So I like photography too. Yeah, I don't have the patience for other types of artwork. You know, like a painting could take hours and hours and days and weeks, and I would lose interest after a while. But I've always enjoyed photography. You know, when my wife and I go hiking, we like to take our camera with us and just see. So mostly, you know, wildlife or landscape type of photography. But that's it, because I have no artistic ability whatsoever. But I can look through a lens and say, hey, that'll look nice, and let the camera do most of the work.
Right. Well, I've seen your photos, Dan. I don't know. You made me nervous.
Hey.
I was like, oh, I better step up my game here, man.
Well, now that's true. I mean, I do. I mean, I put you to shame. But besides that, you know.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we don't want to leave our listeners hanging too much longer. So let's get to the weekly trivia contest. Last week, we asked listeners, what is the non-pharmaceutical therapy now offered by Rewrite the Script to help Michigan medicine patients manage pain? The answer is aromatherapy. Congratulations to loyal listener Brian Wu, who sent in the correct answer. Now for this week's question, here's Dan.
All right, this week's question is, in what year did Michigan Medicine start partnering with St. Joseph Mercy Health to increase service offerings? Once again, in what year did Michigan Medicine start partnering with St. Joseph Mercy Health to increase service offerings? You can find the answer in this week's headline story. Once you know it, send it to headlines@med.umich.edu for the chance to win a prize.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Thank you again, Latoya, for joining us today. And thanks as always to all our listeners and viewers for everything you do for patients, families, and each other.
We'll see you next week.